This episode of Omar the Barbarian is being brought to you by Tactical Manscaper. Are you feeling a little overgrown in certain areas, but haven't the first clue how to handle it? We know you are. That's why we developed a fine suite of manscaping products and services, all available on demand on our Tactical Manscaper app. But Omar, you ask, what services do you offer? Well, let's say you need to ungrowth yourself, but you don't know how. Or worse, you simply can't. Now, at the touch of a button, you can have one of our specialists come to your home and tactically manscape you. But Omar, you ask, what about COVID? Fair question. Because of science, we at Tactical Manscaper have figured out a way to deal with your hairiness up close while being socially distant. Somehow, we are able to get up close and personal while remaining 12 feet away from you. How? Science. So, for the low price of $500 an hour, ungrowth yourself. Download the Tactical Manscaper app today. Available on my OnlyFans account and also at thisisnotarealadyoudummy.com. You are listening to the Omar the Barbarian podcast, where we talk about what is best in life. You got your boy today flying solo. Today's topic, the new Marvel animated show on Disney Plus, What If? All right. So if you have not seen Marvel's What If show, episode 1, then I need to warn you that I'm going to be getting into spoiler territory. So, I need you to go watch that. Then I'm going to need you to come back here, chop it up with your boy. However, if you have already seen it, then sit back, relax, and let's dig in. So, what even is What If? There's some of y'all I know that are like, man, I don't even know, what that is. Well, What If is more or less a comic book series that originally dropped back in like 1977, I want to say. I think it had a run of right around 40 to 50 issues. They featured this dude, and I think I might be butchering this man's name, but I think it's Uatu. I always call him the Watcher because it's easier to pronounce. But I believe his name is his grandmama named him Uatu, all right, the Watcher. And you say, "Oh, Omar, what does he do?" Well, basically, he be watching stuff. You've seen him in the movies. Like I think there was Stan Lee did a cameo with the Watcher. I can't remember which flick, but I think there were like a few Watchers in that cameo. But anyway. This one basically is this dude who watches the Earth, and the comic book issues explore stories about how things might have been had these certain key moments in Marvel history happen differently than how they had happened. I'm old enough to remember seeing What If comics on the shelves of my local comic shop back in the day. And you had titles like the very first issue was What If Spider-Man had joined the Fantastic Four? And on the cover, you had the Fantastic Four with Spider-Man, and they busting through the cover. And all of them got 5s on their chests instead of the iconic 4 on the chest. And so it gets into that. And then later on, you had an issue that explored what might have happened had Gwen Stacy lived. My favorite what if all time, though, might be what if Rick James had become the Hulk? And the cover has Rick James, yes, that Rick James, turning into the Hulk while some dude is standing nearby and he's like talking about how super freaky it is that the Hulk is Rick James, which I think is fantastic. Now, What If is an animated series on Disney Plus, and like pretty much everything else Kevin Feige touches, it is phenomenal. So I'm going to talk about what I liked. I'm going to get into what I did not like, which, to be honest, is not much so far. Mind you, we're only one episode deep. And then talk a little bit about how I think all of this is going to play out in the MCU down the road. Okay. So what did I like? Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher. Love the casting. Though I do think that there are stronger voice acting choices Marvel could have chosen for the Watcher. But I ain't mad at this casting. Don't get me wrong. It's just that Jeffrey Wright is not who I hear when I hear the Watcher. But again, if I'm being honest, this whole thing is so new that I think he'll grow on me. I think I want a deeper baritone for the Watcher, maybe like a Keith David. But Keith David has such a distinct voice that I think it'd be hard for me not to associate him with Spawn. And those of you who know, Keith David voiced Spawn in the old HBO series. And so much like Mark Hamill doing the voice of Skeletor in the Masters of the Universe, and people saying that he sounds like the Joker, if I hear Keith David, I might hear Spawn. So even though I would have loved to have had somebody like a Keith David doing the Watcher, I think Jeffrey Wright might grow on me. And for those of you who don't know, Jeffrey Wright has been a mainstay in the Daniel Craig Bond films. He has also the unique distinction of playing both Jim Gordon in the upcoming The Batman series. And that's the one that's, what is dude's name? The dude from Twilight, that dude, you know who I'm talking about, Edward Cullen. Why do I know his young adult fiction name, but I can't think of that man's government name? I can't think of that man's name. Anyway, dude in that, Jeffrey Wright is playing Jim Gordon in The Batman. But funny enough, he's voicing Batman in an upcoming show. It might already be out. I need to check. But it's called Batman: The Audio Adventures. I know it's slated for 2021. I'm not sure if it's out yet. Again, all of that to say, I ain't mad at having an actor of Jeffrey Wright's caliber helming the narration for this franchise. Speaking of voice actors, I absolutely love the fact that we got almost everybody from damn near the whole MCU, but Captain America First Avenger back for this episode. We got Haley Atwell. Haley. Love me some Haley Atwell. She shines, as always, as Peggy Carter / Captain Carter. You got Sebastian Stan back as Bucky Barnes. Dominic Cooper as Howard Stark. You got Samuel L. Jackson back as Nick Fury. Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. The only person we didn't get was Chris Evans voicing Steve Rogers. And to be honest with you, that is really the only thing I did not like about this. Well, that and the episode length felt a little bit light to me. I would have liked, they're like just under 30 minutes. And I'm assuming that we're going to have probably similar runtime for the upcoming shows. I would have preferred like a 45-minute to an hour show. I get it. These are expensive, but still, man, give me more. I want more. I guess that's a good thing. You should, Marvel knows what they're doing. So I'd rather want more, get a little less and want more than get too much and go, okay, I'm ready for this to end. All right. Iron Fist comes to mind, where we got a whole lot of Iron Fist and I wanted less of Iron Fist. We got 2 seasons of Iron Fist. Anyway, I digress. There's probably a good reason we didn't get Chris Evans, but still, man, how do you not get Chris Evans? For what I've been, reading online about this, we're going to get Chadwick Boseman voicing T'Challa and Star-Lord. You got Carrie Coon coming back as Proxima Midnight in a future show. You got Benedict Cumberbatch voicing Doctor Strange. Again, pretty much all of the actors from the MCU, with a couple of notable exceptions, Robert Downey, Tom Holland. We're getting darn near everybody. No Chris Evans. We got a dude named Josh Keaton, who I believe did work on Voltron. I have to find out. I got to confirm that. And he actually does a damn good Steve Rogers. It wasn't really noticeable to me that it wasn't Chris Evans until I started doing research for the show. So it doesn't really matter audibly, but it does matter to me in that the magic of the MCU is within the consistency. Chris Evans is Steve Rogers. And you know what, now that I think about it, we're probably not going to get ScarJo either, given her current lawsuit. But anyway, what else did I like? Let's talk a little bit about the animation, which is stunning. The action sequences are so good that and mind you, this is borderline prisoner of the moment. I just watched this. So give me a little, some grains of salt, some little Salt Bay. But I personally feel like they are on par with the movies. Now, my understanding is that Marvel now has their own animation studio. And given that they are part of Disney, you're getting the best animators to ever do it. The show even has this depth to it. The way the characters look Disney-esque, right? They look like Disney. Just the rounded features, the way that their faces look. It's the movement. It kind of looked like you were watching it like an old school Disney flick, but it was Marvel. I also like the use of light. It's very significant and adds some realism to the whole thing. The story is also pretty damn good. The first episode takes a look at Captain America, First Avenger, and it asks the question, what if Captain Carter, Haley Atwell, was the first Avenger? All right. So basically, what if Steve Rogers didn't get the super soldier serum and instead it went into Peggy Carter? I absolutely love the way the show did it. There's a throwaway line in the movie Cap First Avenger where it's suggested that Peggy go wait in another room. And in the flick, she does. But here, she chooses to stay in the room. And so Steve's getting ready to go into the little chamber to get the serum. But before he can go in, this Hydra dude shoots him. And then Peggy kills the Hydra dude. And then, they're like, oh my God, we're not going to be able to do it. And she's like, listen, I'll do it. And they're like, you can't do it. You're a female. And she was like, look, I'm going to do it. And she goes in and all of a sudden she's Captain Carter. Right. And then takes Steve's place and the show unfolds from there, taking, key beats from the movie, but then flipping them in a way that was really entertaining and really interesting. One such twist was Howard Stark taking the Tesseract and using it to power sort of this Iron Man suit that kind of had this Iron Giant feel to it. They called it the Hydra Stomper. And I love that they found a way to bring Steve into the action. And it's so interesting that he would essentially be Iron Man pre-Tony. That was a really nice touch, that they did there. It's a nice callback to the line in Avengers where Tony says, everything special about you came out of a bottle. And this is just another example of how untrue that statement really was. While this is very much a Captain Carter show, I mean, she's beating people up the way that Cap did. I mean, perhaps even better than he did. But what I love most is that she and Steve still fall for each other. I mean, he's not 6'5", he's not ripped, he is skinny Steve. But she still sees the hero inside and she falls for him. And I love how they worked together. The show honored what came before, but evolved what they had. And this to me is how you do it right. Did anybody notice how Captain Carter suddenly had a sword and shield too? I had all kinds of Wonder Woman vibes, y'all. I got to believe that was a dig at DC. Like, hey, DC, here's how you not screw up Wonder Woman after like Wonder Woman 1984. But anyway, and Marvel's probably going to get away with that. But it felt very Wonder Woman-esque to me, seeing her with a sword and a shield. So anyway, where do we go from here? I know we're getting 9 episodes. There was supposed to be 10, but I think they're going to take number 10. They're going to tack it on to, we're already getting, it looks like a season 2. And I know they want to do this and Loki. You want to quickly spin up the next seasons around those. So clearly all of this is setting up the multiverse. Major kudos to AC Bradley, the showrunner, on a great job so far. She knows her stuff. She has respect for the source material and has actually figured out a way to make the Marvel movies, which have now become classics in their own right, even more rewatchable. So far, What If is a home run. I don't know how I would rate it. 5 out of 5 stars. And, well, you know what? 4.5 out of 5 stars, because if you get Evans and you give me a longer show, then you're gonna get 5 out of 5 from me. But no Chris Evans. And again, not that that the other dude who replaced him is bad. I think he did a fine job. Like I said, I barely even noticed. But you give me Evans and you give me 45 minutes to an hour, and I give you 5 out of 5. For now, 4.5. That ain't bad. 4.5 out of 5 ain't bad. So, listen, again, it's a home run. Check it out when you get an opportunity. Thank you for listening to the Omar the Barbarian podcast. We'll see you next time. Peace.